Thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday, good people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Divine Calling, where we inspire others to give care. A big shout out to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button at the end. When a dropper drops, hit all so that you'll never miss any of my videos. So without further ado, today we'll be discussing about ways of how to build trust as a leader. And why are we talking about this? Because our backbone is Eden Alternative. And in Eden Alternative, we see of how institutions do their things up to where we are doing them in our homes. Because as I keep singing in this channel, we do not have care homes in Kenya. So each and every individual should be reaching out to look after their own. So, who is a leader? And how many of us are leaders? It doesn't matter who you are. Fact is, there are people you are influencing. And that is what leadership is: ability to influence others. You are a leader at your workplace, you're a leader in church, you're a leader in your home, you're a leader in school, hospital, where you're supposed to head something and others follow because you're influencing them in what you're doing. So, in our case here, under Eden Alternative, trust is very important because the people that you live with are people who should trust you and the words that come out of your mouth. We know of people who do not and cannot be trusted because if they tell you something, they do the opposite. All right, sometimes it's something that can be debated because let's take, for example, someone owes you a loan. This is just an example. And they have not given you back their money. It's not that they are refusing, it's just that maybe they are passing through a certain challenge. And once they come forth, they are going to just replace your money as they promised. Or a second thing, a caregiver might tell a resident, I'll be there tomorrow at 8 a.m., but then they find themselves not being there at 8 a.m. Maybe traffic came by, maybe they went on a drinking spree. That is how people view breach of trust. And what is trust? Trust is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of someone or something. So, when we talk about trust, trust is very, very important. And when we were discussing about Eden Alternative, when Sue Ellen was giving us this training, she gave us ways to build trust as a leader. And one of the ways to do it is share information. This is by keeping people well informed. For example, she even gave us an example of sharing this information about the training of what we got out of Eden Alternative. I remember when we were doing our last day, guys decided that they are gonna do Eden Alternative right from their homes, right in their workplaces. I talked to people who we were in the same training with, and they tell me the extent of which they have practiced Eden Alternative in each of their own zones. So as for me, like I told you before, I decided to start a YouTube channel and educate people on dementia, educate people on Eden Alternative, because this is something that will help us in the long run. So sharing information is so important. Another example is this: you are assigned as a caregiver to your family member. You can't shift hands and say, I'll not be taking care of them this weekend. There's something that I have to do. If you promise and if you tell people that you're going to be there, you cannot change on the last minute. Trust is very important because the people that are with you will be like, why did they breach that? Why were they committing and they will not be there? You see? Two, keeping your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it, or tell people why you can't. Back to my previous example, if you cannot make it to look after a family member or someone who is undergoing all these mental illnesses that we talked about, please share that information. We see with dementia that some of our residents cannot be able to do anything for themselves, especially in stage 3. They need a lot of care, they need a lot of love, they need a lot of help. And if you're not there for them and they are left there on their own, they'll soil themselves, they will vomit on themselves, they will walk into the fire because some of them, the nerves, they die, or they cannot feel their senses. Someone will just go and hold the fire thinking that they are holding a flower. So Keep your word. Make sure if you're not there, you communicate. Trust is fragile. That's the third point. Trust takes a while to earn and back. Be trustworthy. You wouldn't want to break it because wherever we'll ever go, guys, no matter how many friendships you're going to form, no matter how many people come and go in your life, this is the fact, and this is the fact that will always remain. Your family is your family. You cannot trade your family members with other people because look at your situation. In anything that you go through, a family member is the one that will come through for you, best of the best, than even a friend. Those who have family members and they stick together with their families know what I am talking about because family is everything. So if you break your trust with a family member, that thing runs deep. It runs deep because nobody will ever trust you ever again. People will just be like, this one says this, but they do the opposite, which is not good. And when we are dealing with our dementia residents, people with Alzheimer's, in as much as they don't know you, in as much as that they don't understand you, they have feelings. They feel like I've been neglected. So if you promise to be there, promise to be there. Align your values with your behavior. For example, I think that truth is a very important value, and then you find a person saying the opposite, you will be out of alignment. So basically, that is what trust is all about. So, guys, this episode, walk with it, let it sink as you look at your family members today going henceforth. Just be an honest person with your family. Just be a truthful person with your family. If you cannot be able to commit to something, don't commit to it if you know that you will not be able to do it. Don't manipulate words. Don't say that I said if maybe. No. Caregiving comes from the heart. You cannot quit on the last minute. You cannot say that you took a blood pressure check and you didn't. You cannot say that you took a blood sugar test and you didn't. Someone is running high on fever and you say, yeah, I had checked him like 20 minutes ago, and you know it's not the truth. It's not wrong to be wrong, but it is good to be trusted with factual news and what you jot down, especially on residents. Because as a caregiver, you are not the last option of the person that is taking care of this resident. The resident will go to hospital. They will see that there is a progress that has been going on. There is a chart. Let's take, for example, if it is for blood pressure, they are given for you to know how pressure is on this day, is on this week. What are you going to produce in hospital when they ask you? So be a trustworthy person and you will see your journey flow in dementia care and elder care. Join me on my next one. I will be talking about paradigm shifts. Paradigms are how we view things. There's a way I would view something which is different from the way the other person is going to view it. And due to our brain capacity and how we understand things, the other person did not understand it as you said. This other person did not understand it as they took it from you. Someone told me if you draw a 9 in the ground, and if I'm standing on this side, I'm going to see a 9. The other person on the opposite side is going to see a 6. So paradigm shifts are going to help us understand people living with dementia and how to tackle them each and every day. Enjoy your Friday. One love. Be blessed. Bye.